and welcome to the Annex podcast. I am your host, Luna,
And I'm Terry.
and we are two quirky educators just navigating through educational news and topics, the foolishness, the fabulousness, and the frivolity of news and entertainment, and just figuring out because we the new adults. Terry.
Mhm. Hey,
Hashtag that's your mood.
I'm not quirky today.
Oh, what happened, Terry? It's been a while since we recorded because our schedules have been so crazy and just adjusting to the weather changes and the school schedules and life schedules. It's been a while. So how have you been this week? I know.
I mean, I'm blessed.
Amen.
I'm not gonna
Hallelujah.
complain. It's just, to be blessed, a man don't work, he don't eat. So that's the part of being blessed, the work part.
Right.
And I actually enjoy working. It's just
The burnout.
I'm at the I'm burnt out. Like I feel like the burnout usually supposed to come like March, April, right?
Right. But we're kind of, as they would say, burning the candle at both ends. The two
Yeah.
of us, we're
So
doing a lot.
I'm the wick right now, like this.
You you just like the at the when it gets to like the bottom of the candle and it's just a little bit of wax hanging around.
Yeah, I am looking forward to winter recess, what a winter break, what a midwinter
Mid winter break. Yeah.
need that. And
Yep.
then I found out this week at some point that we had Friday off.
Girl,
I didn't know. You would have
I
thought
didn't.
the Santa Claus came and was like, "Hey, girl." I was like, you thought I was like,
Yeah. My co-teacher said, I said, wait, what? She was like, yeah, we have Friday. It's a 4 day. I said, oh, I said, oh, you say, I said, say less. I'm ready.
I am.
Let's do this. Let's bang out these 4 days. Let's do it.
Who knew?
I was like,
Who knew?
really? I was like, from the Friday? That is great. That's
I
good.
don't know why we.
That's a whole week, a whole weekend of just doing nothing.
Well, the school days should actually only be 4 days because I know in some school districts, like even now for remote learning, like I know out here they do like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday they work asynchronously, and the teachers do planning and things like that. Because I do feel like I don't feel there's enough time to adequately, effectively plan the way I want to plan and um, execute what I feel like I need to execute.
I feel like they should do that, like on like make Fridays like a planning day. So even if they make Friday now that we have remote as an option, or Mondays, however they want to do it. It should be Fridays. Everyone works, all educators, school based staff works remotely on Fridays, and you just have your Zoom meetings and you plan.
Yeah, for the next week because like at this point I just feel like, I just know what I want to do, but it's just the day goes by so fast. It's just is I remember back when
In the time before time, as I tell the students, I was like the time before
when
time.
I was just able to sit and plan an entire week
Mm-hmm.
thoroughly with my lessons, with my small group, with the schedule, make my charts. Like I just don't feel like I have time to do that anymore.
I remember when I was in middle school, actually, every first Wednesday, we either had half a day or we had no school because it was just professional development for the teachers.
Oh, they have that here. They have that here. Like when even when things were normal, the girls would have a day off and half day throughout each month for professional development and planning for the
Mm-hmm.
teachers. Why come we can't get that? Like, we need, especially now, because the day is tremendously shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally,
And attendance is just an issue across the board.
attendance is a mess. And
We might as well just all shuffle all into these scaffolds and memos. So hashtag death to snow days.
it's over. Well,
Snow
no, new information, flashing news.
newsflash.
Flash.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
So I was on the town hall today with Michael.
Oh.
Apparently, he said that the reason why we've had to work for snow days is to keep the calendar balanced so that we can have 180 days.
Mm-hmm.
He does not. So, because we're working remotely on those days, it's considered a day because we have to legally, we have to have 180 days.
So when they took like the Easter breakaway last year, that was because we lost days.
Right. Something like that. So he doesn't want them to take any of our days and make us work when we're really not scheduled to work. So that's why they agreed to making snow days remotely. So I concluded that this will be just this year, but who knows? Because sometimes they say one thing and it's a whole other thing. Because next January we'll be right online messing with the Department of Education. So that's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't heard anything about them taking winter breaks, so I guess
They would I would imagine they would have
you
sent something
yeah,
out already, being that it's a week from now.
yeah. So we could just be.
So I mean I imagine, I don't know.
So that's what he said. So we'll see.
Anything else interesting at that time?
I don't know if you received that survey from like the chancellor. We had to fill out about like how remote learning and blended learning is.
Yes, administrators did pass it on, but you have 50 million things to do. You're like, okay, and you forget. So I'm sure she'll send a reminder. But yes, I will check that out.
So I do have some colleagues that believe that they want to kind of make this hybrid remote learning a thing.
Honestly, I have to say I agree. I do think it should be a thing, but there has to be a very, very, like, they really have to like have a strict kind of guidelines for it. Like it can't be this loosey
Guidelines,
goosey.
guidelines. Sorry.
It can't be like this loosey goosey. Oh, um, it counts as their attendance if this and if that and then no. Their attendance needs to be the same as what is expected in school. They need to
If I
show.
don't
They need
see,
to show up to class and complete the task.
right, if I don't see you,
So
you're not here.
right.
Not to,
So I mean, for like maybe for high school, it can be a little different. They might need a little more guidance, but it needs to be experienced because there may be times in high school where they don't have they instruction is a little different in high school, so they're not teaching every day like that. They may be working on projects and doing more project based learning in some like high schools and middle schools, so it may be different. It may be something where they have to check in and show proof of certain tasks completed, which that may be the criteria for them. But for lower grades, for elementary school and maybe even middle school, it needs to be much more structured as far as what constitutes attendance and what constitutes as being actively engaged in virtual or remote learning.
I
So,
don't think that they should do it from K to 2. I'm sorry.
well, not low. When I say low grades, I mean like third, fourth, fifth grade, where they're a
Yeah,
little more responsible.
like K
But
to two,
K to
those
two need to be
be in
in the
school.
building. Sorry, 3K to two, because
Right.
that's
They need
where
to be in the building because they're still
they
learning.
need to learn how to be around people.
Right.
Just need to learn how to be.
Like my class, what day was it when we came back from the snow days? What was it? Wednesday. it was just like I
they,
was like,
they had the wiggles and the jiggles.
I literally had to turn off the lights and put on calming music. I'm like, I don't know what I know. You have a lot of. I just need everybody to calm. All you saw was twirling and just. It was just like, and it took a large amount of patience because I was like, inside, I was screaming
You
like,
were like,
"No!" And they weren't being bad. They weren't being
they were
disrespectful.
just being children.
Yeah, they couldn't stay, but they would. It was just really extra on Wednesday. I was like, I did the brain breaks, the dance breaks, and it was just like,
Yeah.
so it's still like, even without the consistency, I have students still, because of the lack of consistency in attendance, that really have a hard time just sitting.
Hmm.
And they need that skill.
Right.
Especially if you're going to third grade, you got to sit for state tests. And that was another thing he talked about. So, you know what he said? Uh-uh. The state standardized tests are federal. So because most of our schools have federal
The
funding,
funding. Hmm.
they need to use that as a measurement to see,
They
like,
gonna get played, and maybe it will show them that we need more funding.
well, he said that you have to fill out a survey, or you have to apply to get a waiver from the standardized test from the. So he said New York already applied.
I was like, oh, I'm like, I'm telling all my parents, like, sign
So
it.
he said New York already applied. So that's what they did last year. They applied for a waiver last year.
Hmm.
They need to apply for a waiver forever because
But at least the next 3 to 5 years.
no, yeah, it cannot count. It cannot count. And Senator Chuck Schumer came on the
Hey,
call.
Chuck.
Hmm.
What's up, Chuck?
Yeah. And so, Michael Mulgrew made a good point. He said, we have a large task. You guys are expecting us to fix this achievement gap, and we're up for the task with the gaps in learning and just the regression of the students' of the students' academic. There's just a
Hmm.
large regression, of course. He said, we're up for the task, but we need your support. Like, we need money. Like, there's some students that still do not have working devices.
Yep,
It's January. Well, no, it's not even. It's February.
girl.
I had students receive, and then what's happening now is students are getting their device replaced.
Yeah, that's the thing now, where it's had so many updates that now there's just not enough, room on the devices for any more updates, and
So they
they're
get a
all
new.
glitchy.
One of my students got one today. I was like, yes. You could tell he was smiling. I was like, you win it. He was so excited. I made such a big deal out of it.
You
Yes,
have to.
those those iPads are nice with the cover and the little keyboard. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, can I have one? Can I fill out the survey? But yeah, so I had to leave the call, but who knows what else he said. Observations have to happen. Same old everything. They're pushing for vaccines. And I saw on the news today, like the CDC, the new CDC chair is saying, the
Hmm.
head, the female, I forgot her name. She's saying that schools can't open safely. They're literally protesting in California. Like, the parents are on the streets with their signs. That's because it's still like 40, 50 degrees out here. We don't got time out here.
Hmm.
But Elsa coming
I
in.
was like, that California weather, they could be outside
No,
protesting.
Elsa. Let me tell you something. Was watching and said, you know what, 2020 and 2021 has been a hot mess. I want some of this action. Let me come in and show my tail.
She was like, let me reintroduce myself because I haven't
Yes,
heard y'all singing about me in a
I
while.
haven't heard Let It Go in a minute.
Into the unknown.
Until
We
I
about to go right into the unknown right now. Come on.
need you to put some respect on my name.
Yes, tell
I
them,
know this,
Elsa.
okay? What? 24 inches. Bang.
Like,
2 days.
what was that? What's that? That meme when he's like, Elsa was like,
Bang. Something really flew out of my
You really sprinkling stuff over there?
bang. Like she was not playing. So I know we talked about like the supermarket craze. I'm like, guys,
Come
simmer
on.
down.
I'm like, come on, y'all.
Come
It's
on.
snow. We're New Yorkers. We've dealt with snow.
Like you you're acting like there's never been a nor'easter ever. COVID got everybody
And
in.
y'all been home. You know what it is? Everybody home all the time, so they don't got no food. So they gotta go buy.
I'm like, who's drinking all that water? 3, 4 things of water on your card. That's not fair. What are you doing? What happened to the limits?
Oh no, that's over.
Lines.
That's over with. Now that they've replenished everything, there's no limits anymore. Like hand sanitizer and wipes galore. So they're not limiting anybody to anything at this point.
And New York City think they slick with the ruler with the okay, we're gonna close, but you still you still have to work. Like
Yep.
they didn't care. So I mean, it was nice, having a nice cozy 2 days at home to teach. But so what I was saying is that being remote, I feel like there's just more consistency.
Mm,
Though I feel that K-2 they need to be in the building. However, I feel like I can get more done because I see all of them every day.
right.
When it's hybrid blended, I'm flip flopping. I have to remember. I'm literally writing post-it notes on where I stopped with what group where.
Mm-hmm.
Like and I'm moving so slowly through the curriculum because it's always a pause. Like I saw group A one day.
Mm-hmm.
I see group B today. I saw them today. I'll see them tomorrow. Don't see them again till Thursday, and that's just one day.
Yeah, that's where it's gonna get tricky next year if they do plan to implement well, not necessarily the hybrid model, but hybrid in the sense that there are purely remote only groups, and then the groups in the building. That's where it's going to get a little tricky, because if you're going to have, let's say they want to have a pilot and do a remote only class, right? So then there has to be stipulations, like, is that class going to be a class of 32 students, or are you going to make that class smaller? Or if you're going to have 32 students, are you going to have two teachers for that class? Because that's a lot to
Yeah.
handle, in the building. So I feel like that's a lot to handle remotely as well, to have one teacher and, a large class like that, especially on the elementary school level. So that's going to be a real task for them. I don't think the hybrid model is something that they should necessarily continue with, because like you said, like the inconsistencies of it, like, meeting with one group and then you don't see them again for another 3 to 4 days. That's not okay.
And
Even
then
if even if they're older elementary, that's still not okay.
one group gets shortchanged all the time because so the group that has every other Monday, it's they miss out because you have a holiday. And so they miss their Monday this week because there was a snow day. So they
Yeah.
don't get to ever come on the Monday. It's like you see one group more than you see the other.
Mhm.
And and that's not fair. So like world it was World Read Aloud Day yesterday, and only that group A was able to participate. So I did an activity against group B because I'm like I'm sure they want to make little crowns, like that's not fair because it's not their day and get to do the arts and craft part of the activity. So I kind of extended it today for them because they're kids. They need to draw, they need to color, they need to have fun. And they were playing with their crowns all day, putting it on, they just, they don't really
Mhm.
get that at home.
Right. Yeah,
So
so that I think that's something they have to really like sit down, and if not right now, if they're not doing it right now in this moment, they need to start doing it at least by May, to start having a team to research and to like plan and do something where they come up with a structured plan, a structured um, list of guidelines and expectations for what consists of a solely remote course or a solely remote class.
In attendance, it has to be cameras on, um, in class with assignments submitted, not a message.
And it may be that this is something where you have to fill out an application for. I
Like,
think it should be an application process for this and interviews and all of that. Like, you have to make, you know how you have to make people kind of go through the trial to see if they really really want to be a part
charter
of
school,
this,
like charter
right?
school.
You have to get first fill out an application, then do a first interview, then a second interview, look at their records. Like, a lot of that has to go into it. Like, I don't feel it should just be like check a box, I want my kid to do remote.
Because the parents also,
Interview their current or past teacher, all of that.
and if they're going to pump money into that, you need to be prepared to send them with the, everybody needs to have a printer at home. Everybody needs to have a working laptop, not an iPad, because from what I understand, can't really do have you can't really use all the functions on an iPad that you can on a laptop.
Yeah, because if you need to like respond to type, who is typing on an iPad? Unless it comes with like the Bluetooth keyboard.
Well, now the iPads that the new ones, they
Hmm.
have a keyboard attached to it.
Okay.
So those are the new ones being sent out. So, there's money, but the city is saying that they're very broke, and if this CARES Act doesn't go through, there'll be a lot of layoffs,
Hmm.
which would be unfortunate. I feel that there's money, but they just have to release it.
Hmm. Agreed.
So that's it for scaffolds and memos. I'm looking forward to not doing anything but attending PD during the February break because I have
Hmm.
nowhere to go. You know, can't go to the spa like we usually do.
Well, I am going to get do something. I'll see. I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, see me pop up. I'm not nosy.
You're like, what?
What
But
is Earth is
yeah.
ghetto? All
Earth
right,
is
this
ghetto,
is
and
not on our topics.
oh
So,
no,
but I
here
want
we
to,
go. Off the cuff. Hashtag off the cuff. Off the
yo,
plan.
I fell into the silhouette challenge.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
My virgin eyes. Oh,
Everybody got them banging silhouettes, right? They doing it.
guys, male and female.
I
There,
haven't seen any male ones yet, but I'm gonna look now. Now that I know.
I said, the Lord Jesus, pray for my eyes. My eyes feel like it's going to hell. Like some of the things that I saw.
Why? Not for a silhouette. I
No,
mean,
yeah, no, because our friend, who we call her Maya, sent me some other things that have been happening on Al Gore's internet. Why do they call it Al Gore's internet? Let's say Beyonce's internet.
that's an old joke. That is
um,
an old joke. Yes.
so like things that I'm not privy to because I'm old. And she
Mhm.
said you wouldn't believe the things that the busted challenge and the silhouette challenge, what people are doing.
Oh, they're being real extra with it.
I had to go pray and like
Not pray.
I'll send it to
Girl, they doing too much. Yeah, send it to me. I need to see.
no, they're doing too much. I'm like, but why? So apparently, because the people, she said that it's like a prequel to OnlyFans pages.
Oh, well, okay. Now that makes sense. Yes.
Because I said, why
I'm like, now that you say that part
are you exposing yourself for free? Are they getting paid? She said, yes, they're getting paid.
on OnlyFans, yeah, you get paid on OnlyFans.
When I tell you, I was like, for what? But and then she was saying like, people don't want to work anymore. They feel like if they could party, have sex, and drink, that's the life. I'm saying, but what about their pension? See, I'm very
But like, does the silhouette challenge offer? Can they take that from that and put it into your pension?
because your silhouette is gonna shrivel. Like it's not gonna be the same, sis. Like, what do we? Unless you have surgery, of course. But I guess if you make enough money, it's a lot. So I'm definitely still sheltered because there's a lot going on in the man's internet that I do not know and I do not see. Because I went through like all the people that I follow. I follow like just very natural, organic black people. Like, I don't really follow ratchetness. So that's probably why I don't really run into it unless somebody
Mm-hmm.
sends it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they troll you. So what comes up on your page is like what you're usually looking at. So I have the Christian funny pages. I have like comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So unless someone sends me something, I'm like, what, girl? Anywho, I just have to express that. I said, oh no,
Oh no.
the
Well, I
silhouette challenge.
mean, more power to them, and I hope something positive comes out of this um, investment for them.
Money.
I mean,
I guess
money only matters if you do something positive and invest it to make
investment. Right.
more.
Hmm.
But if you just getting, a lump sum or whatever, and then
And then splurging it and not.
and then the attention span of the people who are watching you is not like it was like 20 years ago. They're not gonna like okay. After a while they're gonna like okay. Well, what else you got? That's
I saw that Megan Thee
it.
Stallion's new video "Crybaby" came out, and so I looked at the comments, and a lot of people on that one particular post
Hmm.
were saying like they're bored, like they feel like it's the same content,
Hmm.
kind of like it's not. There's no growth in her music because she talks about the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm like, you have to be careful and you have to evolve like Beyonce.
Girl, stop it with the evolve like Beyonce.
Her crushy evolves.
You need to evolve like an artist, is what you should say, because an
Beyonce,
artist evolves.
like Beyonce.
Beyonce
Hey.
is not the first and last artist to evolve. No hating on Beyonce because I'm a Beyonce fan, kind of. But I'm like, an artist evolves, when they really want to tap into their art, they want to see more, they want to try more, and they want to do different things. So if you're not doing it for the art, you're doing it for the coins, then
Michael Jackson evolved.
that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get some coins until nobody wants to hear or see you anymore because they're tired, they're bored, you know. So because
Janet,
as you get older, so do your fans, and
and they
you
don't
know,
want to hear the same thing
yeah,
over and over and over again. So, like, or you're just gonna have a short-lived career.
right. And you have to look at the people who have had extensive careers, like our auntie that just went on into her next transition. She miss the wonderful Cicely Tyson.
Yeah.
Her career spanned so long, and she did so many different projects, and broke so many records and expectations, that you have to evolve and get deeper into your craft and really decide, like, okay, what do I want to do with this gift that I've been given, or these opportunities that I've been given.
Even in act, even like sometimes people, their career is short-lived because you hear, oh, they play the same type of role, and there's no diversity.
Right.
So, I've heard people argue that about Denzel. I don't really agree. I feel like he's played different roles.
I think early on in his career, he played different roles, but as he kind of got more established and got to that point where he was like Denzel, he was in that league. Um, I think it is difficult for an actor or actress when you do get to that level, because people see you in a certain light, and that's the only way they want to see you. So it can be said for anyone of that caliber of actor or actress that it is difficult. Like you look at some of the actors and actresses we have that are of that caliber, they're always playing the mom or the aunt
Yeah.
or the grandma as they get a little
It's true.
older. Like that's all they're not gonna do anything outside of that because that's not, if they do something outside of that, it's because they're really about the craft and they saw a project that they really believed in and they said, but a lot of actors and actresses do that. They take on these projects that, they may not get a lot of money from it or instant notoriety for it. So they're like quote unquote indie films, and they'll play those roles that are very different than what people are used to, and you may not even hear about it until it goes to like a film festival or something like the Cannes Festival, where it's just all a whole bunch of indie films, and somebody sees it and somebody picks it up, like a bigger studio picks it up, like, oh, this looks amazing, and then you'll hear about it. But a lot of actors and actresses do that they do get into like these roles that aren't like these big blockbuster dramatic Oscar nominated films, but like after a big studio picks it up or whatever the case may be, then you hear about it. You're like, oh, they did this, oh, they did that. Or it might have like a cult following and it'll become big like years later. So
So, do you feel, or do you think that when it comes to artists of color, that they get kind of stuck in roles, and there's more opportunity for Caucasian actors and actresses to have a large variety of roles?
I think it's a number of things. I think there's the industry.
Hmm.
And then and then I think it's a matter of um I think it's a lot of things. I think, there's a difference when it comes to male and females. Period.
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 It's starting to change, but I think there's a difference there. I think there is a difference in terms of the stories that are being offered, because it could be that there is a story out there but they haven't found, not that they haven't found it, it's just that nobody is picking, the big studios aren't necessarily picking up that story, because there are stories out there that are probably written by, they're probably great stories that probably need a little more work to it or what have you, a little more support and a little more production, things like that. But there are stories out there, but I think to some extent, one, they're not being looked at. Two, I'm trying to put this the right way, the way I want it to come out, not the right way, but the way I want it to be expressed. I don't think they want to see people of color in a certain way.
Okay.
Like for example, like there are some people I follow on Instagram. They have great like sci-fi fantasy stories, but no, not that nobody wants to see that, because of course there's a following for it. But as far as when you look at like big studio production to do like a all brown cast of a sci-fi fantasy, like you don't see that like that.
Well, that's why that Jingle Jangle was such a like, because it was a different,
But
even though
it but it
I
exists. It's there. People have written it. People have it's written, like The Matrix was written by a brown person. It's only in the past like few years. Yes, a brown woman wrote The Matrix. But they stole her idea. It's only in the past, I want to say, my blurred community, come on in and correct me. It's only in the past few years that they actually settled and paid her money, because she'd been fighting for years to get paid, because it was like, yo, this is my story and you took it and you stole it and you gave me no credit.
was Keanu Reeves' character really a black man?
Well, I don't know about that part of it, like if the characters themselves were whatever they were, but it's like the stories are out there. I said that to say that the stories are out there, but you just don't see it represented in that way, in the same way. Like they now you might see maybe a brown person as the lead actor or actress, maybe, and then everybody else will be, you know.
Because the thing is, like when the Oscars come around,
Hmm.
half the movies I'm like, who? What? And they're winning the big awards like best film. Like for The Shape of Water. I've still never seen that, but it won so many awards.
Girl.
You saw it?
But girl, cool. But
Oh,
and I think Viola Davis was saying that she was like, people will call her and they'll say to her, "Yo, you're on the level of like a Meryl Streep or one of those women." You know, she's like, "But why I'm not getting the roles?"
I just saw her Netflix movie,
Which one?
the one
I'm
when
like,
she was a
she.
singer.
Oh, Ma Rainey.
I didn't like it.
Why?
I didn't like how it ended.
Girl, you ain't had to like how it ended. That's life. I'm
Oh, I
like,
didn't
girl,
like
you
it.
ain't have to like how it ended. That's
No,
life.
I didn't like it. So I didn't like the way it ended. It made me sad. So I didn't like it.
But that doesn't mean it's not a good movie just because you didn't like the ending.
I mean, some people think a movie is good and some people think a movie is not good. It wasn't my favorite. It
But
wasn't like,
you said you didn't like it because you didn't like
yeah, I just didn't feel
the
like,
ending. Like, what did you think it was about?
I just felt like it wasn't what I anticipated it was going to be. I felt like it was just about that one song. And maybe I didn't read up on it. I never heard of it, but it was just like,
It's August Wilson, girl. Ain't nothing going to end well. you ain't
not even
you
just,
ain't read Fences. Do we
mm,
see Fences together?
yeah, I saw offenses. No, but I guess it just, not, it was not just the ending. It was just not my favorite movie. And it's my right. I don't like it. I didn't like it.
But
Like,
why you getting defensive?
oh no, I'm not getting defensive. I'm just saying,
I was like, but because when you say you didn't like the ending, like meaning you don't think it was written well, or you weren't
well, I'm not
satisfied
like
with
a
the
movie
ending.
connoisseur, like, and dig it deep into the intricacies. Like, I'm not you, but like, you could like dissect the movie and do a whole piece. Like, I can't do that. I'm not doing that. It just wasn't a movie that I felt like. There's movies that have ended with not such a good ending, and I still enjoyed. It's
Hmm.
just that movie I didn't really enjoy. I thought there was more to the story.
It's August Wilson, so it's a play originally. So um you had to kind of enter it with that perspective.
So,
If
like, so for me, I didn't enter it with that perspective. So I was like, oh, okay. I still love her and I love Chadwick. I didn't like seeing my boo play that type of character, but that's range.
see, but that's it. There's people who were like, I don't like it because I didn't like his character. I didn't like the way he was touching her. I don't
No,
like,
I
and I'm like, but
said
he's an
that's
actor.
range. But I was just like, what
I'm like, but he's an actor.
Chadwick?
I was like, but he's
But the story was just about. I guess I have to look at it again because I'm just like, there's
an
some movies that will make me think. That movie didn't. I didn't really understand what I was supposed to be thinking about, and maybe it's a book I need to read. I don't know. I just don't like it.
I mean, there's a lot of things that were going on in that movie. Like
Like, I like the white man taking her song and giving it to the white people at the end. All right, well, we know that happens. Okay, yay. But like,
you had to, you had to kind of really, really, well, like I said, you had to go into it knowing like everything was done with a purpose. So if you're paying attention to like every single move, every single word, every single like camera angle, like everything is done with a purpose. Like the fact that she knew, and for many, brown singers of that time, she knew basically all they wanted was her voice. And so everything that happened that day, she had to let them know that you only have what you have because I allow you to have it. And I'm going to let you know that all day with everything that I do, every choice that I make. I
okay,
will. So that was one element of it. but there were many other elements. So you gotta kind of, when you're looking at a play, you gotta kind of look at the characters not as characters, but as kind of archetypes of elements of our society. You know, you have to look at them as representatives of the society at the time and even now. Like every single male character in that story represented someone or something. And you
Yeah,
had
I wasn't in that mindset, so maybe I missed it. But I mean, I've seen plays before, and I've enjoyed even with tragic endings. It's just for me that was just like I enjoy Fences, even though Denzel got on my nerves, but I enjoyed it.
and
And I
even Fences was very lyrical, very much about like the dialogue.
yeah,
Very
no, yeah, it was
very
very monologue-y.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So
I understand that, but for this, I didn't go in like maybe I'll watch it again. I don't know, but for me, I didn't go in with a. I was like, oh, okay, looks cool. I didn't know the backstory. I was just like, oh, my favorite actors, and I love black people. Let me see what this is about. Maybe I'll learn something. There's movies that I go into wanting to learn, and I guess I went in there trying to learn about this singer because
mhm.
I'm not well versed in like her life, so I thought I was gonna see more of that, but
Yeah,
I didn't
no.
see that. I didn't learn anything. So I'm
It's
like,
not a it wasn't a biopic. And
no,
I
it wasn't
think that's
about
what you
it.
were thinking it
And I
was.
was thinking I was gonna learn about her life.
Yeah, no.
No, no, no. It's just like because there's plenty of movies that of unlike Nina Simone movie.
Yeah, but though, like I said, you were expecting a
Yeah, that was
biopic,
yeah,
and
and I
that it's
was
not a
like,
biopic.
it's just about this one song, okay, and her Coca Cola and Chadwick doing the most in the back, like,
Yeah,
but
so now I get it. Now I understand because I'm like, what? And I'm like, yeah, if you were expecting a biopic, then that definitely was not the movie for you to
and I
watch.
think I also heard that, it was cut short because of his death. So they did, I feel like there might have been some, I don't know where I heard that, some more
No,
scenes that should have been.
it wasn't that much more. But it wouldn't
But I
been
was
it wouldn't
like,
have been more than what it was in terms of it's only a span of a day. It's not going to be like weeks and weeks and months. It was only going to be the span of the day, and that's it. Maybe there were more scenes, but it was only going to be the span of that day.
and it's just certain movies that I just can't watch twice. And it's like, I'm good. Like, for Color Girls, I can't
Oh,
watch.
who's watching that again? For what?
It's like, there's just certain movies that it just, for me, I'm just like, all right, I'm good. Like, I was good on that one.
And I honestly don't even I never saw the like original play for Color Girls because I know it's dramatically different. So, um I might feel different about for Color Girls if I actually saw the original choreo play because it was a choreo play where it was like singing and monologues and dancing. So I might feel different about that because that's more interpretive in terms of what's going on in the stage, whereas
Hmm.
this was like they took a choreo play and made it a dramatic movie. So that kind of removes a lot of elements from it. So and then Tyler Perry is just extra dramatic for no
Everybody
reason.
got to have AIDS in every movie, like all time.
So so it's just like, all right. But yeah, so I definitely understand that, but there are quite a few other like great biopics with musicians coming out, with the movie about Billie Holiday that's coming out.
Oh,
And
Salt and Pepper came out on Lifetime. I didn't
right,
watch it.
I didn't watch it yet, but
And there's also a movie that's been trending, the Wendy Williams biopic. I didn't see. I didn't even know about it.
somebody said they like Wendy Williams movie on tonight. I'm like, what?
I didn't. I just learned about. I said, oh, I didn't watch it because at least with the Salt and Pepper one, I have recorded because I knew.
Okay,
Wendy Williams, I had no idea when it was coming on, what channel, so I couldn't even record. I actually used to be a Wendy Williams fan.
right. That's my
Like,
birthday twin.
yeah, I used to listen to her when she was on WBLS,
Yeah,
basically with her and Charlemagne. That was my show.
when she was on Kiss FM back in the day.
Yeah.
when you had to record her show with your tape deck.
And then when she first came out with her TV
TV
show,
show. Oh, I
date
wanted to
show,
go.
I was
Never
supposed to
went.
go. I was supposed to go one summer with my friend, but I don't know why we didn't go. But I
Cause
was
that line.
a faithful Wendy Williams fan, but like
Mm.
she just started getting really messy, and like it was just okay, girl. Like you don't have to
Well,
be.
that's because things were going on in her personal life.
Yeah, now we know that, but at the time,
Yeah.
it's
We were
like
just like, huh?
you don't gotta be mean, girl. Like you're being mean. It's
Yeah.
just like that.
She was
So
she was hurting.
yeah, hurt people. But see how we already talked about movies a lot. Oh, so Michael B. Jordan,
Hey, Micah.
theory. He has range in his crafts. He has range.
Hmm.
You sent me something.
Oh yeah, so he, the Alexa app, I guess you can download like certain celebrity voices and you can have their voice instead of Alexa. So recently, I don't know if it dropped this week or last week, they just dropped a promo for Alexa with Michael B. Jordan. And, lately he's been getting a lot of flair because of, him and Lori Harvey being, together now. They're dating now, apparently. So, he's been all of buzz about his name. So there was a whole promo commercial of using his voice for Alexa. But in this commercial, it's like he's like almost like an avatar and he's like in the physical Michael B. Jordan is in the room with the person who has downloaded him or subscribed to him. And it's supposed to be seen as like a lot of things going on. It's supposed to be like all hot and steamy, and it's supposed to
It was a
also
lot.
be comical because the woman who downloads him is married and her, her husband kind of comes in and it's just like this whole thing where her husband comes in and she's telling Alexa to do different things and her husband's like, yo, what's going on, who's that? And then there's different events and situations happening. She has him telling her the weather, has him telling her
Reading to her in a hot tub,
reading to her in
the bubble
her
bath.
bubble bath at night. He's reading like a novel to her, like a romance novel to her or something like that. There's a time where she has like her girls over for a party or something like that. She's having some event at her house and she's like, uh Alexa, dim the lights. And then Michael B. Jordan like literally takes off his shirt and throws it over the lampshade. It's just like a whole bunch of things going on. And
Wasn't he just like voted?
the husband's like, what is happening? This is not okay.
My husband to be take the Alexa and throw it out the window, but didn't he get voted for like sex?
Sexiest man alive, right? For People magazine. They do that every year. They do sexiest man or sexiest person alive. And he got voted. So, you gotta get the sexiest man
Are you
voted.
gonna be watching the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Why he got a commercial on something?
No, I'm saying, isn't that when they're gonna like premiere it, or that's just the commercial?
I
It's
don't know
not.
if they have like a longer version of it or something. I don't know. But the Super Bowl is extra. They have like a
I was watching
whole
like this.
trailer
I don't know. I was
for
watching this news show, and I think it was Good Morning America, and they had people voting for like their favorite Super Bowl performance. And you know
mhm,
who won?
Beyonce.
Um, no, she
Oh,
wasn't even. No one even. Her name didn't. Her or Michael Jackson's name didn't even come up in the
who
conversation.
they voted for?
J Lo and Shakira
Yes, that wouldn't be my favorite though.
and Bruno Mars.
Yeah, but he performed the same year as Beyonce, right? Unless he performed another year.
I don't know, but they definitely didn't say Beyonce with hashtag. You know, it's gonna be my favorite, and Michael Jackson and Justin Timberlake and Chance Jackson.
Yes, why not? That was a great performance. Nipplegate, yes, that
Yes.
was great. That was a great performance.
But
Um,
they said it was someone else too. Oh, Gaga.
okay. I mean, I can understand. Did they say Michael or no?
No,
Oh,
Right.
But then again, it depends on who they were asking because they probably never even saw the Michael Jackson one. That was so long ago. But okay, so it depends on who they were asking or who answered. But I can understand the Gaga one because that was very visual and artsy. So if that's your thing, that was a great performance. Who did you say? Bruno Mars.
And
I,
they a lot of people voted for J Lo and Shakira.
so again, I can understand the J Lo and Shakira because that came out during the whole Me Too um thing. So I can understand that coming. So again, it matters on who they were asking. So if you're asking that generation of millennials that are not brown, um they're gonna say the Gaga, they're gonna say the J Lo Shakira, and they love Bruno. So Beyonce's performance was okay. I don't think Beyonce had the best Super Bowl performance. However, hers was the most
Controversial.
controversial, political, whatever you want to call it. It was that. I would say that for me, as far as like her public performances, I would say the Coachella performance was better than the Super Bowl performance.
Oh, hands down. Like I still watch that.
I
Like
haven't watched the whole Homecoming. I just watched the performance. But I do want to watch it because I just want to see like because I know preparing for that was severe for her. Um, but I feel like the performance itself was okay.
I enjoy all of her performances, and I really liked the she had so many dancers like come out in that black, and it was like Black Lives Matter, Black Power. So
Hmm.
that's just me. So like it also it depends on what you're into. So like you said, if you're into artsy, you're gonna like Gaga. If you're gonna I'm all into like the pro pro black dancing. I'm already a Beyonce stan, so of course I'm gonna love it. There was a band that performed that I really liked, but I can't remember their name. It was a band,
A
but I can't.
band, Aerosmith.
No, it's a
Uh,
band that has like they're a different band, but they collaborate with black artists, but I can't remember their name. And I used to really be a fan, or kind of like a fake fan because I can't remember their name. But I like their performance as well. It wasn't too long ago, but
I don't know.
who's performing?
Maroon Five.
Yes,
I'm like, who performed in the Super Bowl? I'm like Maroon Five.
I like them.
I like Maroon Five.
I like them.
Um,
Who's performing this year? I don't even know.
girl, I don't even know because
You
girl,
think
I wasn't even thinking about the Super Bowl. I was like, oh, until I saw like the memes about what's his name, Tom Brady, and
he's
I
the
was
GOAT.
so that's why I was like, wait, oh yeah, the Super Bowl's coming up.
And I don't even like Tom Brady. Since
Yo, let me
um
tell you something.
the scandal with the footballs, like I've always thought he was a cheater, but he's actually really good because I watch football, so
Mhm.
he's just good.
No, he's. I mean, from what I've seen of him, he is an athlete and he really cares about that's his art.
Wait, so why? First of all, because I have trolls living here, right? So I just said Tom Brady's the GOAT,
Uh
and I get
oh.
a text message from Takashi Fortnite talking about he is not the GOAT. Tom Brady is not a GOAT. Why are you listening to my conversation? Man, nosy.
I can't. I love it though.
God. So it's supposed to snow again. Elsa's coming back, so I don't know. She's going. She's supposed to return on Sunday. She said I'll be back. Don't get cute and comfortable because I'm coming
Girl.
back.
I'm like, she's like, oh, this snow not even gonna wash away yet. I'm gonna come.
And because my friend the groundhog saw his shadow.
And I totally forgot about Groundhog's Day.
Oh, I did a whole thing on that.
I was like, yo, I didn't even think about it until after the fact. I was like, oh, Dag.
Why Phil had to see his shadow? Come on, Phil.
First of all, Phil ain't seen nothing.
Phil
It's
can't
a
see.
lie. It's a lie. He can't see. He tired. He wanna know why y'all touching him.
Phil can't see.
He was warm and cozy, and y'all want to pull him out and bring him outside in the snow and the cold.
Phil can't see anymore, so he doesn't understand. But yeah, so Elsa's coming back on Sunday. So that I think so the last thing we said we were gonna talk about is like the COVID vaccine. Um that's been a lot of talk on the news. But a lot of people are getting it and I just wish you guys all the best.
Good luck. Hope
Good
you
luck.
pull a
I'm gonna
tail.
just go get my shotguns and what else do I need? For the zombie apocalypse?
Oh,
Like
you need a machete.
a machete. Okay.
Okay, if you need a gun, you also need the ammo,
Ammo.
and you're gonna need some lessons because you gotta need
Yeah. Yeah.
because the kickback from a shotgun is real.
Yeah. And some like, I don't know.
You're gonna need some provisions,
Yeah.
some canned foods and things and water. You know,
So good luck. Good luck. But so a question for you, excuse me. If the education department of I said that purposely out of order because this year's been out of order. Says you have to get the vaccine to work. Are you gonna get it?
I have to get the vaccine to work in the building.
Yes.
Hmm. Well, I would get it. I would get it first only because if they said like you can't travel unless you get it, because that's what I care about first. So if they're like, oh, you can't travel to other places, other outside of the United States unless you get the vaccine, and I'm like, oh, then all right, maybe. But for them to say you can't get it unless you return to the building, I don't know if they can do that.
I don't think they legally can, but I know
I
some.
was like, I don't know if they can do that at a public school.
Right? Yeah, definitely. It was just a question. I just wanted to see what you were gonna say.
I was like, I was like, they don't want to get sued. That's what they
No,
don't
we
want.
can't. We can't do that.
So, um, because that's a violation of your personal rights saying you have to get it. So,
And didn't someone say that? Oh, I don't know who I was talking to. Children, kids under 18, they can't even get the vaccine. It's not even
right.
made for them. So,
Yeah, because I think the only thing that the parents are doing right now, they have to like consent for them to be tested. I think
and that's
that's
a struggle. That was a struggle too, but that's in scaffold, and we're done with that. Next topic.
it. Are we gonna talk about Chloe Bailey?
Oh yes. Back to the topic. Earth. Going back to Earth. Okay, here we go.
I
Ooh.
just wanted to touch on it real quick because I did have a conversation with one of my friends, male friends, with about this, and I was like, "What's the problem?" They were like, "Oh, she trying to act all innocent, like she didn't know what she was doing." So for all of you who are probably hearing about this for the first time, our dear young friend Chloe Bailey, who is in the group Chloe and Halle with her sister, you know them. They're on Beyonce's record label. Um, she shot a social media video of herself saging her room, but she was wearing her t-shirt and her underwear. And she was, saging her room. She was being cute with it. She was being playful, just being herself, I imagine. So then after she posted it, there were a lot of comments to the extent of, oh, look at you trying to basically like just being exposing yourself for attention, you thirst trapping, and not in like a fun, playful way, in a very like accusatory, body shaming kind of way. and very mean spirited kind of way. Like, who do you think you are? What are you doing? You don't need to stoop that low for yourself, and da, da, da. And so then she came on and put out a whole, and she had also done the Busted challenge as well. And she's a young person,
How old is
so I want to say she's like maybe 20, 21, 22, like in that age range.
all right?
Um, so she's not like 16, she's, a little older.
So that
But
changes my opinion a little bit. I thought she was younger.
but it's like, why can't she do that? It's like, if she does that, she is therefore exposing herself and looking for people to say certain things about her or whatever. And she was like, well, that was me just being me. And this is me. And I am also trying to become comfortable with my own self, with my own body, and just being in my own skin, and being okay with that, being okay with not being perfect, being okay with, you know, having, wide hips or whatever whatever. I don't remember every single thing she said in
Speech.
her speech. But it was like, people were like, "Oh, I don't want to hear nothing from her. She knew what she was doing." And I'm like, "But why can't she just be?" Now, granted, you are, a celebrity, a person of fame or whatever you want to call it. So people are going to say whatever they want to
I
say.
have something to say.
And
Always.
you have to be ready for that, or else don't post nothing. Like, you could have posted a picture of a cheeseburger and somebody would have had something to say, like, how dare you eat meat? Like, somebody's gonna have something to say negative regardless, even if you did whatever you did in the spirit of positivity. It doesn't matter, somebody's gonna find something to say. And that may be something she's still learning. As much as she's, been in the industry, that may still be something she's learning and learning to deal with, you know because for all we know, for the past 5 to 10 years, she could have been shielded from a lot of that, and she didn't do
Right,
anything with
because
that. She wasn't on social media, she wasn't,
they
you
always
know
get a page. Like that's her first. That's her. They've always had the same page. So this is like her page by herself.
right.
So I think I don't feel like what she's doing is wrong, but I don't feel like I kind of agree with girl. You knew what you were doing. You were being sexy, but that's do you. I'd much rather her be like, look, I'm coming into my own. I'm young. I'm sexy. Okay, but like I don't know. Like
But I feel that's what she was kind of saying, like she's still figuring that out about herself. So, I'm not gonna
but I don't
say
think
that's
that
not the best place for her to do that. She could do wherever she want to do it.
she could do whatever she wants, but I don't know if I feel like I don't know her psyche. I watched the video and I don't know if she didn't know she was being sexy. Like I don't know if you know what I
Right.
mean? I don't feel like that's what I got from the video. For you to say I'm just being me, I don't understand why you think I'm trying. You were being sexy and that's okay. You know what
Right.
I mean? So don't and it was a sexy panties and a shirt. You were being sexy. And that's fine. If you're trying to figure out how to be sexy, that's okay. But I do agree with your male friend to say if she's, if the sentiment is like, don't act like you didn't know. Like you're not oblivious. I don't feel.
But I feel like at the same time, I'm not responsible for how you feel about what I did.
Right, I agree with you. Like I don't.
And I feel like that's what this was. It was like they were trying to make her feel responsible for their feelings. It's like, if you're a woman and you are walking and your walk is sexy, that's the way you walk. There ain't nothing you could do about it. That's the way you walk. You're not gonna be here and concentrate. I'm like, okay, I can't walk too sexy.
Right,
Like, you're just gonna walk. But if somebody looks at you and say, "Damn, her walk is sexy," right? And somebody write that on your page, "Damn, your walk is sexy." You like, what? But that's just my walk. Like, you don't. I can't carry the weight of responsibility because you think what I did was sexy, regardless. So that was my perspective on it. Like, not so much that she didn't know, but it's more of like, don't pin your feelings about me onto me and try to make me carry the responsibility of that, because I shouldn't and I don't have to. So
And they've been under Beyonce like since they were young,
right.
and that's just how Beyonce moves. So of course, they got a little bit of that too, and she's like now breaking away from her sister, and they're clearly on different paths. I feel like the sister's doing the Disney movie,
Yeah, she's gonna do the Ariel.
so she wanna be sexy, but she's young. She's young enough to not know how to address it, without being apologetic.
Right.
But I don't think she's young enough to not know what she was posting. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, she knew she was posting it. She just didn't realize it was gonna cause all that flack, and she doesn't know how to yet. She will to
Mm-hmm.
say, "F y'all, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm cute."
And shut off her comments like
Right,
Amanda does.
right. But I think she, because she's young and she's still trying to learn,
Hmm.
she's trying to say, "Well, I didn't know." I think that was more of like a backpedal to diffuse, but I feel like she did know, but she didn't know how to handle the people. Beyonce just ignores people. Beyonce,
Beyonce follows no one,
who? How does she
and
follow?
she posts once a year.
Rihanna comes back with the clapback.
Oh, Rihanna is a clapback queen. I love it. I live for her clapbacks.
Her clapback. She's so funny. She's so fun, and I have something to say now that I thought about it.
Hmm.
Why are they coming for Lori Harvey for dating around, but Rihanna stay dating people, new people? Like, why is there a double standard?
I guess the double standard is, and I'm just assuming because I don't know. The double standard of there is not there because of her necessarily, but because of her mother. Because some people still feel a kind of way about her and Steve Harvey's relationship because of allegedly how everything went down. Like him and his ex-wife broke up, but she was like the other woman
Oh,
with
think
his
like a
ex-wife.
man, act like a woman.
Right. Allegedly. I don't know.
Oh,
Allegedly.
okay.
She was like the other woman in the situation. Like he was dating her or seeing her while the marriage was, starting to fall apart, but they were still together or whatever the case may be. And allegedly, Laura, the mother kind of, dated affluent men or was married to affluent men.
Oh,
So,
that's what that
um,
is.
so then there's that. And so Lori Harvey is not his daughter.
Yeah, I know that because she's
Right.
cute.
I mean, that's his daughter, but
Not
adopted daughter,
biological.
whatever. And so people feel like she don't do shit, but date men and the money that she has comes from the name that she has and not from any particular talent or anything that she has. She's not
And all
I
these other
right.
favors.
I don't care about any of that. That's girl,
Yeah,
live your life, get your coin, do what you want to do.
right.
But people feel like, well, you're not at least like if she was a model or she was something that they, I guess, the public would feel better about the things that she has. But she's not she's famous because of her name of who she's related to and not because of any talent that she has. And so she dates the people that are in her, level of influence in her circle. And so she dates around just like anybody else dates around of that age group or whatever you want to say. But because it's her, people have a problem with it. And also because like any other eligible bachelor, the public always feels like they have a chance. So they feel like if somebody gets with them that is not up to their expectations or their liking, then that person is seen as a problem.
And a double standard too with just being a female as well.
Right.
Um,
So,
I
because,
feel she's so pretty. I think she's very pretty, gorgeous
hmm
lady. I just want her to be careful because I was worried she was hanging around Future. I was just like, girl, go not,
I
no,
thought,
girl,
ain't going to end well. Don't do it.
no,
But but yeah, I think
stay
that,
away from
the
her.
double standard is always there. If you see a woman that dates, dates like what's her name? Ariana Grande. She got a new fiance every 6 months. But and people judge her for that. Like they're
But she
like,
has the same ponytail.
huh?
But she has the same ponytail.
That's all right. That's all right. Let her rock her
Alright.
ponytail. That's her look. That's her signature look.
Is
So
that
no,
that
actually she said she wears that ponytail because number one, because of her insecurities, because something had happened with like a dying job or something and her hair fell out in the middle. So she started wearing her hair in that
oh,
ponytail. But all celebrities have their signature look. You know, like Mariah Carey only gets photographed from one side. She only gets photographed. If you look at any pictures of her, she's only photographed from that side. Unless it's a straight
you
on.
are so attentive. I
No,
gotta go look that
but
look that.
she but she says that Beyonce, she does this pose where she puts her hand over her waist and she puts her hand on her hip. That's her pose. Look at all her pictures. That's her pose. Look. Like everybody has their signature, whatever it is. If it's a signature hairstyle,
Yeah, but
it's
I don't like the ponytail.
a signature.
I'm a person of the public. I got my opinion. But that's the
Listen.
thing about social, that the thing that's why I don't really post a lot of my
Mhm.
personal life, because social media, you can't get upset when you post things for the public, because
Mhm.
people are always going to have something to say. If you don't want
Exactly.
to hear negative comments, don't
Don't
post.
post it or turn your
Especially
comments off.
turn your comments off, because especially people with that check on
You
their
got that blue
little
check.
Instagram name,
They coming for you.
got that blue check,
The
they're
lovers and the
coming for
haters.
you regardless. Lovers and haters. And what's really hilarious is like people be really arguing on the shade room, like full arguments over things. Like they have all day to argue about your picture on the shade room.
People do it. It's
So
not even just, it's anywhere. Like I'll see somebody's picture and they'll say something, whatever, whoever posted it, it'll be a whole argument under the chat. And I'm like, but why do y'all care? That's what I want to type, but I'm like, I don't even want part of this. But I'm like, well, why do y'all? But I'm just laughing reading it. And I'm just like, why do y'all care that much now? But sometimes it's just to be seen. Some people just want to feel seen, and that's okay. But
oh,
like
and
you,
speaking of tea, I don't think that my last comment about
mhm,
I don't feel like she was looking for attention. Like,
right.
I don't believe that she's out there. She doesn't need to look. She's famous, bro. Like, she doesn't need to put something up. They're trolls, regular schmegular people that live in a project that put things up for likes. She wasn't putting it up for likes. She was putting it up because she's having fun,
But that
but
was
for
part of
her,
what she was saying too. She was like, I feel like my performance costumes I wear less. She was like, what are
yeah,
you saying? She was like, I don't
exactly.
understand why you would think I need attention. But um more power
'Cause
to
I feel
her.
like
And I hope she
the
figures out
media.
how to handle that stuff a little
Yeah, she just needs some handling. Some She needs to go have tea with Rihanna, Beyonce, and all Mariah and all of them, and they can give her some tips on how to like shade and not care, because you winning.
But you know what? Her sister stands for her, and I think her sister put something out and was like, "Say something again about my sister." She always does
Oh,
that.
if you see that, please send that to me. I would love to see the defense
Her sister
like
is
that.
always coming for people coming for her. Like Haley is always coming for people coming for her sister.
Oh, I
She's
love
like,
that.
"No, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself." So
That's dope.
So if anybody, she has her sister in her corner, and B, I'm sure is in the phone, so she could always call B.
They're beautiful. I love their voices. I can
Mhm.
listen to their entire album and not
Yes,
skip a song.
I cannot wait until till Hallie is the Little Mermaid. I can't wait. I can't
Yes,
wait.
I
I can't wait
to
to
be
hear
in
her
line.
voice
I hope the
because
movie
I'm gonna
experience.
cry real life tears when Ursula takes her voice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry real life tears.
Oh
So
my god.
I'm ready.
But you're gonna get it back.
Huh?
You're gonna get it back.
I know, but in the moment when she takes it and she does, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna sing.
Sing, honey.
Yes.
You see it.
Keep singing. Yes, that part. I'm gonna lose it. I'm about to lose it right now. Like I'm gonna lose
Okay,
it.
no, no, we can't. I can't. I can't. Don't cry.
I
No,
was like, I'm gonna lose. I've been very emotional this week. I just finished watching the live action Mulan.
yo, can I tell you what a flick?
I was
I,
like ready. I was the first 5 minutes. I was ready to cry.
I
Ain't even that
love.
the title didn't even come down yet, and I'm
I think
crying.
I felt emotions watching that too. I really, I love that, and I wasn't expecting me to love it that much. Like that was a really good live flick. Like,
I was like, that's one of my favorite Disney non-princess heroine movies, and I was just like, please don't
wow,
let them mess this up.
they
And
didn't. They did a good
and
job.
I was just like, the whole movie, I'm like, get him, Moo, get him. The whole movie, I was just yelling. So I just absolutely, because I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about it, because in the original, people love it because they love the soundtrack as well. And, it's Disney. People love the song, so that was a strong part of it. And you heard them kind of playing the theme, the instrumental of the songs. If you listened, and you were like, "Okay, I see you, Disney. I see you." So, and they kind of reworked a lot of the things, because some things, work in animation and
Yeah,
don't work in animation and work actually. And
the dragon couldn't talk. He just had to be there.
and I like that they still incorporated some of the characters. I love that they had the original Mulan in the movie too.
Mm.
So that was a nice nod and respect to her. So I loved that. Um and also, I could just, I don't know if I hate or I love to say it, but I could, watching the movie, I could tell it was directed by a woman. And it was just like the beauty of it was there, that I'm not gonna say a man can't do it, but you could just tell it was just the perspective and the touch of it was just like, yes, yes, I see it. I could just, I was like, the director gotta be woman. And I waited, I was like, yes, I see it. So it was just like, it was really great. And I wanted to actually watch Wonder Woman as well, but they removed it from HBO, because I heard it was being removed because they're gonna put it in theaters or whatever. But and my co-teacher kept telling me, make sure you watch because they're gonna remove it soon. So I said, okay, let me try to watch it today. Went on today, gone.
So I liked Wonder Woman, but movie buffs that follow, the comics didn't necessarily like it.
Hmm.
I did. So just gonna leave it there.
And I think I heard that as well as about the first one, and I watched the first one and I enjoyed it, but I can understand why the blurred community, certain people, the gatekeepers, as
Yeah.
they like to say, the gatekeepers didn't enjoy it, because it's not, if it's not canon, they're like, what is this? This monstrosity they have done to the canon, so they're always going to find problems with anything, like that. But
I'm good.
I thoroughly enjoyed Mulan, and I would watch it again.
I will watch it again. All
And
right.
I
So,
love that Christina came back in and did a thing with the remade the original song, and had a actual new song for the movie, so that was awesome too. So I know we stayed in Earth is Ghetto for quite a long time, but we had a
we're
lot.
gonna just talk about getting old because I'm old and I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, adulting. I know this the okay. First of all, January was the quickest January I have ever felt in my life.
In my life.
January has never moved that quick ever. Which I'm not mad at, but I was just like, what is happening? Is it that we just have so much to do that it just
I
breezed
think
by?
that's it. I think that's why time is flying because we're so busy, not busy.
Right. So I'm just like, okay. And just so many things going on, because I know we keep touch with each other every day about, being healthy, and, you know,
I'm actually
keeping each other accountable about that. You see your clavicle is poking
I'm
out.
I've been looking at my little reflection here on this camera through the Zoom and I'm like, I don't look as broad as I did when we first started. And I'm like, all right, so maybe it's working.
Mhm.
I see my
Yes,
faces
like
a little
I
bit.
told you, like when you came on, I was like, "Oh my gosh, your face is like glowing." I love it.
I'm
That
using that serum by Full of
full
Grace.
of grace serum, yes,
Yeah, that's
yes.
my favorite. I love it.
I use it around my eyes because I have the old lady lines around my eyes.
I really love it. But I'm getting older. Like I'm really starting to feel. I'm starting to feel mentally getting into my age. Like even though I still have like a young spirit, but just certain things I'm just like over. Like I find myself even, you know how I love God and I love trap music. But like the new trap music that's coming out, I can't do it. Like I'll bop, but then I'm over it. Like I can't listen to like the little Dirks and a little Mercs and a little. I
All
can't.
the lils, all the lils.
I like the little baby, but then again, I kind of feel like how the outgrowth internet feels like it's just kind of the same content and like
First
giving.
of all,
Hmm? Yeah,
I don't even know how they know it's the same content because I don't know what they talking about.
it's talking about sex
Because
and
I don't understand what they saying. So I'm like,
there were some. He does have like a culturally aware song.
yes, that one I heard because I was in a car one day and I was like, wait, did he
I like
just say? And I was like, okay, I gotta listen to this one again.
that type of feel like, but like even with like some of like the female artists and it's just like they're talking about the same thing. Like it's just Birdville. And I'm just like, no one is as it's sad. Like no one we need teachers. Like no one is aspiring to do anything else. I mean, there is, but it's not being publicized in a way.
Well, you have those two teachers that have become very like popular on social media when remote learning first started, and they did a whole like music a rap music song and a video, and they're like trending, and I actually do follow them. Like I mean, they don't necessarily have a record deal or anything that I know of, but they're trending, and they're still coming on, they're still posting like songs, they're doing activities and videos with their students when they can.
Oh, send me
But
a page.
yeah, they are, I think they're from I want to say they're from Atlanta.
Everybody's from Atlanta.
That's what I want to say, they're from Atlanta. But yeah, they're pretty dope, so I do follow them.
I just feel like
But I feel like part of it is that there are so many avenues for content that nobody necessarily needs a record deal to produce, art. So for you to find it, you kind of gotta be like on social media to find it. So going to like Pandora or YouTube Music or anything like that, you may not necessarily find it in like your top picks. You're gonna find it maybe on TikTok, maybe on Instagram. Those are the places you got to kind of look for the
no,
music, and even YouTube to some extent, you're gonna find it there. You're
yeah,
not
because
gonna
music like some of the playlists are of artists that you don't hear on the radio. And that's why I like, when they have the random playlist and Spotify too. There's a Spotify playlist that I listen to all the time. Plenty of like kind of like a neo soul kind of.
right.
I like that because I don't hear it because every time I turn on the radio, I hear
But the only thing with like the Spotify's and the YouTube music, because that's what I listen to is YouTube music, is kind of like the Pandoras, where okay, you listen to these three artists, you listen to two of their songs, now that's what they're gonna play, that artist and artists similar to them.
unless you go to
So
unless you
so
go to
unless you
the
click
bottom.
something else,
Yeah.
and even then they still play the music of that artist and artists similar to them. So it's like a sometimes you win, sometimes you don't kind of situation. Like the other day I wanted to listen to a song that I like, but I hadn't heard it in a long time. It was Michael Bublé and Kelly did a remake of How Deep Is Your Love, and I wanted to hear that. But then they started playing all the artists like Mark and Michael Bublé's category, which I really didn't want to hear while I'm driving. So it's like you gotta kind of, like you said, kind of gotta make your own playlist and kind of like maneuver in that way, because you don't always, or search for those playlists that have that, nice mix or variety in
Yeah,
them.
nice mix. Like I feel like Title
Oh,
had
that's a
when I did have
that's
Title,
it.
they had a lot of eclectic mixes on there as
Hmm.
well. But I canceled Title because there's just too many services.
Right,
I
and
have,
that's the thing.
I have too many subscriptions. So I subscribe to YouTube Music because I can share that with my family.
Right.
And Spotify, someone shared with me. So that's it.
And I
And
love YouTube Music because you can rewind it when you make your playlists. I love that.
yeah.
Because Pandora doesn't give you that option. Like you'll hear something like, "Oh snap, they played this," and you're like, "Wait, let me favorite it."
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I mostly, I'm old school with it. I listen to my '90s hip hop and R&B, and
I was just listening to a 90s slow jam and I was in the car. I was like, I remember this song. Oh my God. So I'm going to start going back into my archives of my 90s and bringing back some old memories because the music for me right now, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but it's boring me. I'm just like, all right. We all know y'all could do it and everybody's wet and everything like that. Okay, good. I'm happy for
you can do it. Everybody's wet. Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Fine.
Everybody's wet and happy and slippery and everything, and
That's what
everybody's satisfied. We get
right.
it. But
Liberal.
what else?
All right. What else is new? Okay. All right. You got wigs and
But to argue the other side of that, and I will go back to one of our faves, Miss Cardi B, they do put out other content, but people aren't
playing.
listening,
Right.
because she has other songs that are like, I like Be Careful, and I
Mhm.
like Ring. Those two songs, and
Like,
what's the other one I like with her and SZA?
isn't that right?
No, Ring is with Kalani.
Okay. Oh, I
Um
know what song you're talking about. Damn, I can't
I
think.
do, I do, I
Mm-hmm.
do, I do. I mean, so I
But
like,
that's
so
a
I
song being played on the radio.
right. So those are on my iTunes Music playlist because I like those songs as opposed to the ones that are popular. So that, to argue that, like the B-sides, as you will, like when we were growing up, it was the B-side songs, like all the singles were the A-side songs, and all the other songs, if you knew somebody had the album if they knew the songs from the B-side.
Right.
So the B-side songs aren't getting as much love because that's not what the popular vote wants to hear
I don't believe they
necessarily.
still playing that Chris Brown song.
Which
They've
one?
been playing. Yeah, I'm not gonna get a baby.
Um,
They play that every day on Hot Night.
I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but
Exactly. They play it all the time. It's just like, get in it, get it. I'm like, all right, Chris. No. So, that's a part of getting older. I'm tired more. Like, I can't hang out anymore.
oh no, there's no hanging out.
Like, I used to be able to like hang out at night
Party till 3 in the morning, then go to church
and
on
go to
Sunday.
work and be highly effective. Like if I don't like right now, the reason why I'm cranky and just like not in the best space is because I didn't get the rest that I needed. And I've been miserable all day.
Yeah, I told you my students were like,
All
like I
day.
didn't have my camera on. They were like, "You all right over there?" They're like,
Like
"You all
literally
right?"
my back hurts because I'm sleepy. My back hurts because I'm tired.
Me trying to do some self-care, and during my lunch break, sitting at my work at home desk, giving myself a pedicure because I just needed to feel happy and joyful because I was stressed out. So I was sitting there soaking my feet, scrubbing my heel, because I haven't had a pedicure in Lord knows how long, because, who is taking off shoes and going to, the nail salon and doing all of that. But yeah, girl, it's just part of getting older. And then it's the whole thing where I know you're a hybrid, so you're going into the building, but I'm not. And so I'm literally getting up like maybe 30, 45 minutes before I need to report check in. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to handle going back to that 5 a.m. schedule, if we're back in the building September.
It's a
I,
struggle. It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
and even with the hybrid, you guys are back and forth. So, your
It's like
schedule gets thrown all the way off.
my body is confused, and that's like I really feel like my body is like, "What are you gonna do? What do you make a decision?
Make up your
Make up
mind.
your mind. Are you gonna get up at 6 or 5? What are we doing? 7? Like, what is it gonna be?"
We we all talk the brain, the heart, the mind, the body, the soul, and we decided that we need consistency.
We don't have any consistency. Like 1 minute you want to be up at 5, the next minute you're up at 7, then one day you want to be up at 6:30. Like, what are we doing here? So that's probably why at 2 o'clock in the morning, my body's like, up. We just checking. Are you
they're
waking up?
like, they're like, they're like at 2 in the morning. You're like, no, 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 no. We need to go back to sleep, and you don't.
I I feel like this is why therapy works. I just talk through my issue. I realize why I'm all effed up. Yo, my body's like my body is confused
Yeah.
because of the inconsistency. 1 minute we're home, the next minute we're not. And then so on the weekends I'm trying to sleep in. So then I'll wake up and then I'll go back to sleep. Yeah, it's that. It's just no consistency. I can't get right. Like I literally have to have coffee with espresso if I go to Starbucks. Like I have to. And like the other day, I ran out of like when we were fully remote. I
Just had a
had
cup of coffee.
I should have had a cup of coffee, so maybe I'll be in a better space. Guys, I'm just really tired. So I'm just a little crank. But I didn't have any more coffee filters. Like I've literally had an emotional like I was ruined. I was like, Dick was like, you really need I'm like like I had an emotional breakdown, like, I need a coffee. So when I took her to work, I stopped and got coffee filters and then I had a cup of coffee in the afternoon because I felt like I needed it. I'm a coffee head. Like it's a lot, like getting older and then, people are like passing away like younger, like the guy from Saved by the Bell.
Hmm.
It's just and we're so numb now. Like we're so numb at this point.
We're like, oh, okay.
Okay. Like
I guess
it's
because we got hit so devastatingly last year that it was just like it was a lot at once, and I think people are kind of, I hate to say that people all cried out, but it's just like you said, we're like numb. Like it's like there was so much, it was so much from just Black Lives Matter prior to this. And that was like back to back to back to back. And that was just a lot. And
crazy.
then there was just an outcry. And then COVID happened. And then that was like a whole nother batch of whatever. And then it was just like in the past few months, a lot of, our, well, first of all, when Chadwick went, I think everybody just lost it then. Like,
So that was also another reason why it took me a long time to watch that movie because I haven't really been able to watch anything with him in it.
oh, zero. And everything, every single thing that had him in it just popping up like randomly, not even like planned stuff, like just stuff like me just watching random TV shows, like
Uh-huh.
watching NCIS or watching this over there. His episode popped up. And I'm
I
like,
was
are you kidding me? I'm like, every single one I watch, like I would switch. I'm like, nope, not watching this, switch to another show.
in that Netflix movie, he was kind of skinny, so maybe I think he was losing weight. So like he didn't really look like himself.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was able to get through it, but that was like the first and only thing that I've watched since he passed. Like I literally, first of all, I had a crush on Chadwick, and I
Who
really,
didn't?
I and that his passing really just like affected me, and I didn't even know him. And it was just it affected me more than Kobe's did. Like even though Kobe's affected me, but for some reason, like I can look at things with Kobe in it, but like with Chadwick, I can't even look at it. It just makes me sad. So I don't know. Just getting older, like I'm literally gonna have like a child graduating high school. So like I'm in denial because I keep looking at the pictures when they're little
Aw.
and I miss them because now they're boring.
Not they're boring. This
And I
is
hope
when
I'm
they're gonna
right.
start getting in. This is when they're gonna start getting interesting because this is when they're really gonna try your patience because now they're gonna start becoming adults.
The little one, the one that you guys told me to watch out for, has been ish.
She been
She
tap tap tapping on that nerve, the tap tap tapping on it.
I'm gonna whisper because she listening. She a straight bully. She bullies me, and the thing about it is, because she's still cute and she funny, she gets away with it. But if it was like the other one, it would be different. But that one gets away with stuff. I just look at her and I don't, maybe it's because I'm older. Because I'm just like, she's a bully. And
Yep.
she always has something to say. The selective mute.
Yep.
Like, yeah. And I can't, it's weird. Like when they say that youngest child gets away with everything, that is the God honest truth. Now I know why my sister and my brother look at me crazy because I probably got away with
Your
like
parents was tired. It was like, they like, she be all right.
I never got in trouble for nothing. They probably like, what's going on here? This is happening. So just having kids that are getting older and just your parents are getting older. That's another stressor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching my mom get older, and she's like literally a old little lady. And remember, like when you were little, she was like the strong woman, but you could see, like, now it's your turn to take care, and
Mm-hmm.
you get old. But she's still rocking, thank God,
Yeah.
But I could just see, like, that's also a stress because then the thought of like them ever being called home and just like that and having to take care if something goes wrong, you have to be the one to go and take care of whatever they need.
Mm-hmm.
Like the roles are reversed.
Yep. So it is what it is, but we still trucking. We still the kids.
I mean, some days I feel young,
Hmm.
but not recently because I just feel like the workload has increased tremendously since January hit. I feel like, why am I working so hard?
Hmm. Yeah, because part of it is that everybody is still trying to figure it out. There's nobody that knows. So, you know,
The CDC doesn't even know because I went on the CDC website to
hmm
try to learn more about this vaccine, and a lot of their answers are like, "We're still not sure. We're still researching about like, the facts, and like they're still trying to figure out this virus, which has different effects on people because there are people that get positive and don't have a symptom, and then there's people that get positive and that's it for them. Like it's really weird. It is scary.
but it just makes you like think about and want to research like all the other like vaccines that have ever come around, like the vaccine for polio and the vaccine for the plague, like all
I
those
keep going
things.
back. You know what? I keep going Googling Spanish flu. I keep going back. I'm like, I'm just trying to understand. I haven't found any. If you find something that really helps me understand how that ended, because I don't see any real answer. It just like it felt like it just went away. I don't know. Like I seen the people with the mask on in the pictures, but I'm over this whole thing. But what this does, like, it makes you be grateful for things that you weren't grateful for before.
Mm-hmm.
When we can finally go eat food freely, and we
Girl,
might cry.
we gonna be like, I love tacos.
I love we're gonna order the whole menu just because like
Ain't gonna eat none of it because our stomachs done shrunk so much.
right, like yo, I get full so fast, but then I'm hungry like all the time. But then I'll eat.
every 2 hours you gotta eat.
But oh, and I air fry everything now. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Everybody in their air fryers.
But yeah, like when outside open, it's just gonna be like I just want to skip and just without my mask. What about like the first vacation?
I don't even know what that's gonna be like. Like I don't know if it's. I don't even know. I don't even know
Mm,
because I haven't traveled during COVID. I know some people, have traveled on a plane to other
yeah,
places
I've
during
seen that.
COVID. So I don't even know that experience to say like, okay, I sat on the plane for 5 hours with a mask on. I don't know that experience to say, okay, now I know. But um I don't know. I just think I just hope everyone, when the world does open up again fully, that everyone just enters the world with like a renewed positivity and, like you said, gratefulness for the things that we've taken for granted that we haven't done in so long. So I know some people was out here just living their life as per usual,
Atlanta's open.
but
Like going to a concert or like you know how we used to go to like the makeup shows and touch everything and just the festivals and things like that. We can't do any of that like
yeah.
anymore.
So I just hope people are just a little bit nicer, a little bit more appreciative to everyone, to one another, to people who work in the service industry, to people who, serve them in the restaurants, to people who take care of their children, to people who take care of them in the supermarkets and the malls and things like that, So, and of course, the people in the health industry, of course, the sacrifices that they made, especially in the beginning, where they were literally camped out in their garages and in their living rooms in order to not affect or infect their family members, so they didn't get to, interact with them in the way they would love to. So, shout out to all the healthcare workers as well.
And
So
shout out to the people older than us while we sitting here talking about getting older.
let's do that. Shout out to y'all. And shout out to all the educators out there still putting themselves at risk to make sure that the young people get everything that they need, as far as and everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. So that's not just academics, their social, emotional well being, all of it.
My one of my students who's an L student, just I guess that's my last story, and then we can go. Um, was dismissal, and she was like, "No," I'm like, "What happened? Come here, come here." And I thought she wanted to tell me something. She came up to me with her mask on. I love you, and I was like,
My
"Oh,
baby.
you know, like it's the little things. You should see
Yeah.
their faces when they're in school. The kids actually enjoy being in school now. It's not like they're always so happy to be in a school. You
Um,
know, so those are the things that we have to think about.
that's gonna be emotional
Yeah,
when we return to the building, for real, for real. Like the students that are in my class right now, like they haven't literally seen me in a year.
that's crazy.
So it's going to be very different when they see me in the building, because they were literally, for the youngest ones, they were literally second graders the last time I saw them. So the next time I see them, they're going to be fourth graders.
That's
That's crazy.
that's deep. Well, on that note, my old self, my now my lower back is hurting.
I know. I'm like, I'm sitting in this chair like, ooh, I need a different chair.
I'm gonna have to invest in a sleep number.
Oh my goodness. Or the mattress topper.
Yeah, something, but it's been real.
Yeah. So you can
Please
catch us on, you can catch the Annex podcast on Instagram,
take off my earrings.
Fa- Facebook, SoundCloud, and YouTube. So We will post on Instagram first and foremost, and then all the other social media outlets. You can definitely look for us, the Annex Podcast. I am your hostess, Luna,
I'm Terry.
and we love you and we thank you for listening to us go on and off topic for over an hour.
Yes.
Bye, friends.
Bye.